In this video, I'd like to show you AMOS software. AMOS is the software package that we use in this course to conduct CB/SEM analysis. So when you after you install the software package, you can find it if you are using the same version of Windows like mine. You can right here in the search box AMOS, and then you need to click on AMOS Graphics, or you go to the menu here and go to IBM PS Statistics, then AMOS Graphics. So what we need to find is AMOS Graphics. Okay. So this is the working area of AMOS, and here you have a toolbox, and there are some boxes, a panel here with some boxes, and like other software packages, there is a menu here at the top. But what you really need for now is to learn how to use the toolbox here. So I show you some examples, then you can play with it and learn a lot from just clicking and using them here. So the first thing I want to share with you is, you remember we had a discussion about observed and latent variables. I said the observed variables are shown in models with a box. So when you look at this, of course, it's very easy to identify the observed variable item. So it's here. And when you put your mouse over it, it's shown draw observed variables. Okay, very easy. You just click, one click, and when you click, you see it's highlighted. It's already highlighted. So sometimes we double click and we think it's already have been selected, but it is not, because it's not highlighted anymore. So make sure one click, and when you click, it should be highlighted. Now you can use it. So how to use? Now when I put my mouse over the working area, I just click, just left click, don't leave the mouse button, just drag, just move your mouse, and when you have the size that you want, let's say this size, just leave the mouse button. So easily you can draw a box, right? So this one is used to draw observed variables or boxes. Click, move the mouse, leave the left button of the mouse, click, left click I mean, move it, leave it. So you can draw boxes, right? So let me create a new file. Oops, sorry. New, no. Okay, so another thing I want to share with you is, when you click, suppose that this is the box, the size, this is the size that I want for boxes. For the next one, no need again to draw. If we want to draw a box exactly like this, and this is usually what we want the sizes to be consistent. So for the next one, no need to draw it again. Just click, one left click and leave it. So click, done. Click, done. You will get the same size. Just one left click and leave the mouse button. Just one click, right? So you see, click, you will get it. You will get the same size. It's the same thing for latent variables. You remember what latent variables, I said we use a round shape. So this is the latent variable construct. So I click, so it has been highlighted. Now left click, don't leave the mouse button, move it, and when you get the size shape you want, just leave the mouse button. So for the next one, if you want to be at the same size, just one click, click, done, click, click. It will give you the same size. But suppose I want to change the size or shape. Again, click, but this time now don't leave the mouse button. You can create a new shape, right? So let's say it's like this. For the next one, if you want to be the same shape, just click, click, right? So this is the way we draw observed and latent variables. Now let's say I want to delete them. So for deleting them, this is the cross, the red cross object. So I click and it's highlighted. Now you just put your mouse over any object that you have. Each of these are called an object, and it will be highlighted in, so the color will change. You see it's black, now it's red. This means this object has been selected. Now this object, you see I'm moving between these two. So you just click and you delete it. Very easy. And now, let me show you the lorry, the one that can be used to move the objects. Highlight it, select, and then click, and then move the mouse. Don't leave the mouse button. You can drag and drop it wherever you want. Okay, I drop it here. So I left click, don't leave the mouse button, move the mouse, drag it, and when you want to drop it, when you reach to the area you want to drop it, leave the left button and it's already there. So this is the way we can move them. And what is this one? It's a copy machine. So you can copy the objects. So I click, it has been highlighted. Now put your mouse over an object that you want to copy and then left click, don't leave it, don't leave the mouse button, you need to hold it, and then move, then drop it wherever you want. Now I drop means leaving the left button of the mouse. Sometimes we make a problem, we make a mistake. Here I just click, oops, sorry, just click. So what happened? I copied one more and I dropped it exactly over the previous one. So I don't see any new one because I clicked and left the mouse button without moving it. So I dropped it at the same place. And this will make problems later. So to copy, you make sure that when you have selected the copy, don't just click and leave it. So you click, don't leave the mouse button, move it, drop it at the place that you want. So I delete some of these objects that I don't need. Now I use the lorry, put it here. Now, what are these two? This is the single-headed arrow that I said. So it shows, I select, then this shows the path or the path between the items, objects, between the objects. Suppose from this latent construct, I want to link, let's say, these 5 items, observed variables, to this latent construct. So you just click, no need to click at the edge, just go in the middle somewhere, just click, don't leave the mouse button, just move it and drop it on the object. You see I'm dropping in the middle. No, some people think, oh, they need to drop it exactly here. No, just drop it here, the software will adjust it. So click, drag, drop, click, drag, drop, click, drag, drop, click, drag, drop. So now I have one construct with 5 items. And you remember that I told you for each item we need an error term. So one way to draw the error terms is again to draw, because error terms are unobserved variable or latent variable. So I just draw an error term and then link it to the item. Another way is I can use this. This just adds one latent variable. So I go over it. Let me show you again. I want to add an error term to this object. I just put my mouse over it and click. Done. So now let's move it, put it in the right place. And here we have a construct. We have a latent construct with 5 items and their error terms, right? And it's very ugly. So how to improve it? One way is you can use the magic stick here. This is used for touch up. So I just click, 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 click. So it will optimize it, will make it more beautiful, right? So now it's better. Or instead of clicking one by one, I could select all and then click. I will tell you how to select all later. Now, it's okay, but still not excellent. So maybe I can just put these a bit more organized. And now how to change the shape. Suppose I want to change the shape of these error terms. Or maybe I want to change the shape of these error terms and make them like this. One way is this one. This change the shape of the objects. Select, then put your mouse over it. No need to put it at the edge, just in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Then move the mouse. Then when you get the size that you want, leave the left button of the mouse that you already used to click. So I just make changes, but still you see it's not that good, but okay, right? Now let's we can, let's say, suppose I want to make all at the same size, and it's a bit difficult just doing it, you know, one by one like this. So what you can do is, there is an item here, drag properties from object to object. When I click, it will give me a list of properties: height, width, x coordinate, y coordinate, name, font, blah blah blah, color. So how it's used? Suppose this is the size I want. So I click those that are related to height, to size, means height and width. So this means these two properties will be dragged and will be applied to other objects. Now I just need to, put my mouse here, click, move my mouse, move. You see there is a gray dashed box that is attached to the mouse, the cursor of the mouse. This means I'm dragging and I'm copying, I'm dragging the properties in terms of the size, height and width of the object, and then you drop it wherever you want. You see now the size has changed. Again, the properties of this, because this window is open, when I click on any object and drag and drop it on another object, you are let's say copy pasting the properties that you have selected here from one object to another one. You see, if I, for example, from here I drop it here, I change the size, but okay, I don't want, so I can undo. How to undo? Here, undo, or Control Z. So press Control and Z on the keyboard, it will undo. And this one is redo, undo, redo, undo. Okay. You can see other things here, right? For example, let's say, suppose that it's like this, right? I want to put them in the same column. So one of the things here is X coordinate. This means, let's say also X coordinate. So this means if I click on an object and drop it on another object, these properties means X coordinate will be applied. You see, all are now in the same column. Or Y coordinate, okay? Y coordinate means, I can now, I want to put it in the same row, right? So I click, drag and drop. So Y coordinate has been applied, right? Anyway, so this is the way we can draw a construct, but there is an easier way as well. I will show it now. This item, draw a latent variable and its indicators, means its items or questions. So select it. Now, the first thing you draw is the latent construct. So it's the same method we use for the first two. Click, don't leave the mouse button, hold it, drag or move it, and then when you get the size you want, leave it. Now, it's the same thing that we did for the oval shape, right, for the latent variable. But there is another thing you can do, one more you can do with this item. Go in the middle, click, click, click. By each click you will get one item. So it's very easy and it's very nice, right? So now I can move it. I want to share a secret with you, a very important thing. So when I select the lorry, to move the objects, when I put my mouse over it, click and drag, you see only this object is moving. But for latent constructs, I want to move all together. So when you want to make it like a block and move it, you just you make sure you have selected this, preserve symmetries. So select preserve symmetries, then move. Now all are moving together. You see, all are moving together. But if you don't select this and you just move, only one object is moving. Now, suppose I want to rotate this. Of course, it's here, right? Very easy, rotate. So I select, then rotate. And I want to move these. So let's say I want to change the shape of this. So again, if I just change, if I can select this, I already told you, and I click, move the mouse, and I can change the shape, but this is not what I want. I want to change all these items shapes, the shape of all these items. So I click select preserve symmetries. This means all will be in the same block. Then change the shape. Then one of them, when you make changes in one of them, all will be changed. Now I want to move them closer together. Now all this has been already selected. Then move. Then all will be moved together. So it will be like a block, right? And you keep the symmetries. And these are too big. I want to make it a bit smaller. Why all are moving together? I'm changing the size of all because preserve symmetries has been selected already. And now I put it here, and let's say it's too close. So okay, yep. So I delete the other one because it's not really nice. This one is more beautiful. So I put it here. And when you use this item, this item in the toolbox, something good is, you see how to move this one. There is something here, move parameter values. So I select, then I can move this parameter, right? So one has been fixed at one. You remember about model identification video? I said in AMOS, you need to fix one of the factor loadings for each construct at one. And when you use this object, it will do it for you. So no need to do it manually. And also the second rule for the identification, as we discussed, all error terms path must be fixed at one. And when you use this, it will do it for you. So if you draw a construct using these two, you should do all this yourself. How we can do it ourselves? Double click on the path, parameters, regression weight. Here, yeah, it can be like this when you draw the construct using these two, and then you need to double click parameters, regression weight, and fix one of them at one. So this one is fixed at one. So I suggest using this one. Suppose this is the one that I want to, this is the perfect shape that I want for a construct. My model, suppose I have three constructs. So what I do is I copy paste the same construct that I have created. How? This already has been selected, preserve symmetries, and then copy. If you don't select this, when you copy, only one object will be selected. Control Z means undo. But when you select these preserve symmetries and you copy this, the whole block will be copied. Perfect. Now, how to draw a model? Let's say I want to have two independent variables and one dependent variable. So what I want to do to make it more beautiful, I just rotate it, then preserve symmetries, I move it here, and this one can be here, right? And now how to draw the path? This is the path, single-headed arrow. So click, drag, drop, click, drag, drop. And I told you another rule for AMOS. The independent variables must be correlated. So I click this. This is the correlation. This is the covariance. Click, click. So all independent variables are correlated. And I told you already, for an endogenous variable, we need an error term. This is the error term. Very easy. Just click. You get an error term, a disturbance, right? Now let's make it more beautiful. First of all, it went out of the space, so I can make changes here. View, interface properties. Then here for page layout tab, you get different options. This is now portrait letter. I want to change it to landscape A4. Up to you. And now the page is landscape and the size is A4, right? So you see it's good for this model. And I want to make it a bit more beautiful. So one of the methods is I can just move and put this where I want, or I Control Z again. Or another way is you can apply the magic stick or touch up stick. Don't need to do one by one. Okay, look at this. This one, select all objects in the working space. And this one, deselect all of them. But sometimes we want to select just a few objects. So this one is the item to use. So I just select and then click on those that you want. And their color have been changed to blue in my AMOS. So I select, let's say, these items, right? But here I want to make it easy. So I select all. So the touch up and just click. I clicked a few times and this is the best that software suggests. If you don't like, make changes. For example, I don't like the error term to be here. I just put it here. And then the touch up, yeah. Okay, so this is, I think, good. Yep. Now, you can name the objects. For example, maybe this variable is, so you just double click. What you get is, again, objective properties, and go to text, variable name. For variable name, you cannot have space or just use, or you cannot put one of those, $sign or percentage. So the name I give here, let's say, is subjective norms. And this is wrong because there is space here. So I remove the space, and you can see here, but maybe you say it's not beautiful, so I want to change. The presentation is not nice. No worries. In the variable name, variable label, you can write subjective norms. Okay, so, and there is a space, right? Or even I can enter, right? Variable label is just for presentation, but variable name, so variable label, you can put space, percentage, whatever you want. But for variable name, you cannot. So variable label is just for presentation. It won't be in the answers. But for variable name, be careful. This is one of the mistakes we make. And you can change the font size or whatever. And now the next one, let's say, is attitude. Or you can name the variable as ATT and then here write attitude, right? So what is shown here is the variable label. If you don't give any variable label, the variable name will be shown here. And maybe this one is in intention. And something that you can see here is there's no OK button. So when you are done, you can close. Or you can keep it open and make changes here. So I just write subjective norm, then I click on the next one. So no need to close and open it again. Now write whatever you want here, and then next one, give the names. So anyway, you can give names to observed variables, but no need, because later I will show you a shortcut to do it. And one more is how to name the error terms. For error terms, of course, you can name them by just double click, right? E1, then next one, E2, E3. But this one is really time consuming. So, and error terms are not really our concern. So any random name to error terms is fine. So what you can do is, after you gave names to latent constructs, then for error terms, go to plugins, and there is one, name unobserved variables. So if you click on plugins, you may get less because I have installed many plugins here. So click on name unobserved variables, and all have been named easy. And we don't care what's the name of an error term, right? So, yep. And what else I can share here with you is, of course, I will I will use others in the future videos, but for now, yeah, these are the main tools that you need to practice to be very comfortable with them, because sometimes we have very big complicated models, so you should quickly be able to draw a model. So practice. And here you can see some magnifiers. They are interesting because this zoom in, yeah, of course, zoom out, and this will fit the model into the page. And this one is interesting. So sometimes we cannot read because the model is very big, so many items. You want to read them, so you put the magnifier here, and oh, this is one. and you read the values. And I told you this for moving the parameters. You see, for example, here, I'm not sure 1 is for the first factor loading or is the second factor loading. So when I put my mouse over it, I can move it, and now, oh, this is for the first one, right? So these are the tricks. And what else here I can share with you is, yeah. Okay, yeah, there are other tools as well that you can use. For example, this one, you see, it just mirror the objects. And there are some that we will use in the next videos. But what I want you to do now is to practice and do the, draw the model that I have provided in this topic. And make sure you're comfortable with the tools that I showed you just now. And then later, I will show you some tricks.